This is Mr. Anderson from Kellogg Community College to work with you on the last 6 problems of Chapter 6, Session 3, or Section 3, the Complex Rational Expressions. Now, for those of you who've been watching the previous videos, we are going to do the numerator in blue, the denominator in red, and then we will do our simplification in green. So here's what we need. A common denominator between this numerator in this first part of the problem. So above this division line right here, we have a x minus 3 and an x plus 1. The common denominator is going to be, well, unfortunately, just x plus 3, x minus 3 and x plus 1. So we're going to take our first fraction, multiply it by 1. But that 1 is going to be x plus 1 over x plus 1. And we're going to take our second fraction, which is 1 over x plus 1, and we're going to multiply that by 1, which is going to be x minus 3 and x minus 3. Alright, so what we now have is a common denominator of x minus 3, x plus 1. I'm not going to FOIL this back together because you're going to see some simplification later, but we can do some distribution, which is going to be 2x plus 2, and do some distribution here, which is going to be just x minus 3, and simplify this together. So 2x and x make a total of 3x. 2 minus 3 is negative 1 over x minus 3 and x plus 1. Now we're going to look at the denominator in red, so we can kind of keep them straight on the worksheet here. Again, our common denominator is going to be x plus 1, x minus 3. So we're going to take our first fraction here and multiply by x minus 3, x minus 3. And take our second fraction, which is 4 over x minus 3, and multiply this by 1, which is a fancy way of saying x plus 1 over x plus 1. What we're going to do next here is we're going to distribute. So we're going to do a little distribution here and here. So this is going to be 3x minus 9 and 4x plus 4. And that's all over our denominator of x plus 1 and x minus 3, now that we have our common denominator. So what we will do is go 3x and 4x, which makes a total of 7x, hooray, and negative 9 and 4 make a total of negative 5, over x minus 3 and x plus 1. Now, using my green pen, what I'm going to do is show you that I have to put these two together because these are still over each other, because this is the fraction over a fraction, right there. So we're going to move this to the top here, and this is going to be x minus 3, x plus 1. And because this is a division problem, we skip, flipped, and multiply, so we flip this on its head. 7x minus 5, and using my green pen of simplification, you'll notice that the x minus 3's cancel out, simplify, and my x plus 1 simplify, and what I'm left here in my denominator, and I didn't follow my coloring scheme here, the 7x minus 5, that would still be from that part down below. So what's left here is the 3x minus 1 and the 7x minus 5. For my final answer, simplified because there's nothing more for me to do, my final answer is 3x minus 1 over 7x minus 5. Guess I'm writing my answers in this light blue then. Okay, let's look at problem number 8. Let's see here, changing back to dark blue. Alright, looks like my common denominator of these two terms is going to be x squared, x plus 3, x minus 3, because this first fraction here, I can take our x squared minus 9 and go x plus 3, x minus 3. And I can take this fraction here, and I want to get the same denominator, so I guess I need a x minus 3, so let me go put this here, x minus 3, x minus 3. Alright, time to do some distribution. This is going to be 3, and then plus 2x minus 6, as this jumped in there, over x plus 3, x minus 3. And I'm going to keep this out just in case I have to do some simplification. All right, let's go change to red. And as I change to red here, I'm going to have my 4 over x plus 3x minus 3. I'm just, factoring out the x squared minus 9. Plus my 1 over x plus 3. I'm going to multiply this by x minus 3 over x minus 3, like so, just like I did in the problem up above it, because I needed to get a common denominator of x plus 3x minus 3. This 1 jumps on the inside, which gives me a total of 4 plus 1x, or just x, minus 3, over x plus 3x minus 3. Now, I'm going to go back and just do a little bit more work with each of these fractions here. On the top here, you'll notice that I have 3 plus 2x minus 6. So this becomes 2x minus 3 over x plus 3x minus 3. And down here in the bottom, you'll notice I now have x, and then 4 minus 3 is just going to be 1. So this leaves me with x plus 3, x minus 3. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my green pen here. I'm going to use my green pen to flip this around here, like so. So that is going to mean that my red equation, my denominator, is going to get flipped to the numerator. So this is going to be x plus 3. X minus 3 over x plus 1. Crisscross cancel time. So we're going to simplify the problem, and we're going to simplify it by looking at this. X plus 3's go away, x minus 3 goes away, and so now I have my 2x minus 3 over x plus 1. That's my final answer, problem number 8. Okay, moving to problem number 9, and then I think we're going to turn this into a 3-part video instead of a 2-part video. This is going to be nice here. Now, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different color to show you how I can get common denominators pretty quickly. You'll notice how this is backwards. You really want it to look like the 1 here, but I can factor out a negative 1. And by factoring out a negative 1, I can then move that negative 1 to the subtraction and make it plus. So this becomes x squared minus 1, and that becomes a plus. So this becomes a plus. If I factor out a negative 1, do the same thing here, and this becomes x squared minus 1. And what this does, it allows me to rewrite the problem as x plus 3 over the common denominator of x squared minus 1 all over, this is going to be x cubed plus 27 all over the common denominator of x squared minus 1. Now, let's go separate each of these into their respective colors. Here's blue going to be on top. So blue is going to be x plus 3 divided by x squared minus 1. Now, what's nice about this is that when I take my denominator, which is green, I'm going to kind of move this up here and make it multiplied. What I'm going to do then is change this to the color red and show you that this problem gets flipped on its head and it becomes x squared minus 1 over x cubed plus 27. Now, what will happen is that we are going to do some simplification with green, but there's a little bit more to go, because if you notice that denominator is a cubic, and when you see x cubed, you've got to remember about SOPs. SOPs is the cubic root of x and the cubic root of 27, which is 3, and then the square of the first term, the opposite product, which is going to be negative 3x, and then the square of the last term, which is 9. So what happens is that this denominator can now simplify with this blue numerator right there. So this has been changed to this, And so now what we have left is, using my green pen of simplification here, the x minus 3 goes away with the x minus 3, so what's left is nothing in the numerator except for a 1. And my denominator is x squared minus 3x plus 9. That is my final answer for problem 9. Now I'm going to stop the video here, and we're going to do the last 3 problems, 10, 11, 12, in the third part of this video.